I remember the moment we both were there on stage in the Netherlands, in Breda. And you asked me some questions about how kids are raised up in, I don't call them high society. I call them actually the most lowest societies you can have on this planet. But most of the people think they are the highest powers on earth. And that's because of they are holding actually most of the assets of this world, most of the property. They own actually the whole world now, nearly. It's just a few parts who are not theirs. It's like, let's say the 99.99% they own now. And that started a long time ago. But we have this talk on stage about children who are born in this, well, old world powerful families. And it's not only my story, it's also the story of them, because they all were born, and on the moment they were born, like me, like all the other children on earth, there was nothing wrong. It was fine. It was not that you come in this planet and you start to play with another child, or you say, no, you're a Muslim, I don't play with you. That bullshit is coming up later on in our lives, that we start to separate us from each other. But in the beginning, when we come from the source of light, we are all connected, and we all are a sort of unity and diversity. But to get people in track of the old powerful system, to be getting a real career in the old world, like your father or mother are the most powerful ones on this planet who decide to destroy a country or not, they have to prepare you for this job, for this role. And this kind of preparing was more or less the same like I was prepared. In my case, it was not really done on purpose, because my father didn't have plans for me, because he was not one of the rulers of this planet. But because of his damage, he was damaged as well before the war and during the Second World War. So a damaged child becoming a father, doing actually the same, also damaging me. And that was so heavily that I'm in the position now to confirm, because of my own experience in life, because my first 11 years of my youth were really destroying the child. My child was becoming the inner child, completely protected in a heavy bunker, and a bunker who even can survive atomic wars. That's how far you become inside of yourself, locked up, developing a sub-person who is not giving any shit about life on this planet, actually having real joy to destroy life on this planet. And that's all because of being in a program of destruction from the beginning of your life till later on. And for me, it was till my 11th. But later on, I jumped now a bit forwards. Later on, when I was in the position in my first life, the last 5 years of my first life, it ended in the end of 1994. The last 5 years, when I was in the real position to get in the financial world in the highest positions to serve them, the powers that be, the old powers, I was becoming friends with not all of them, but some of them. And when you become friends with one of your clients, you start to recognize each other based on the stories we both share about our youth. I didn't say it now, but I get it already in my body, all these vibrations, because it's very heavy, this kind of things. In the so-called elite, because they are not elite, but how to call them, the powers that be. If they get children, sometimes the first one is sacrificed for more power. And if they don't do this, the children they raise up, they put them, for example, in electric caves to break them, to break the child in all the way they can. This is in the system of being trained to be later on one of the most powerful persons on this planet. First, they break you down, and they do it from the beginning. And they were doing it with me too, but separate from the real powers. But it's unbelievable, because sometimes people are saying, oh, the powers in this planet, they are reptilians. No. I know the stories, but they are not reptilians. They are so cold-blooded, so-called, they are so in the freezer because they were trained that way, like they did with me, with my father and my family situation. They trained me to be the coldest one on earth, with my consciousness in the freezer, and not on 18 degrees, but on 100 degrees. So when I was coming out of this hell, this family situation, completely beaten up, tortured, emotional, physical, whatever, well, think about real horrible things and you get more or less there. For them, the powers on this planet is the same story. And well, it's not funny, but the most funny part of this all is that the parents who are doing this with the children, they are convinced, really convinced, that they love their children and they are giving the best they can to prepare them for their role in the future. They really love their children. So if you're not used to it, it's completely crazy to hear this and to think about what I'm saying. Compare it with this. If you are a father and a mother and you get children, in my first life I did the same. You get this vaccines program and you love your children and you are not aware, and you give your children the vaccines because you are doing the best for your child. In the meanwhile, that's in my second life, I become aware of the prescriptions for doctors downloaded by the healthcare division of European Union. And then if you read the descriptions where the medics access to have, and you read all the additives who are in these vaccines, then you become aware, like, oh my God, I don't want to give my children this anymore. So with this example, I want to make clear that if you don't know better, you really believe you're giving your child the best you can. And with the vaccines, in my first life, with my first two children, I gave them. And their immune system is damaged. They're so-called healthy, but not really healthy. If I compare my first two children with my last two children, wow, big difference in the immune system. But that's just an example of what I'm talking about. If it's about the powers who are where I was working for, and with some I become friends, I mean, they were going through the same hell or worse than I did. And this is the only reason why they are able, like I was, to destroy life on Earth. Really we didn't care about the people in general. They were products, they were trash, they were just use them, fuck them, and throw it away. That's human people.